guys, Jay here. Welcome to Miles Memories Weekly, episode 138. Miles Memories is a show about nothing and is filmed in front of a live studio audience. This is a show where we're talking about painting, modeling, and wearing experiences from the week. Now you might be thinking stuff, Jay, you put out 3 videos a week. How? Could I possibly have more to say? Well, I do, and here goes. This week, Christmas has come early, really early, and we got the reveal of the Christmas Battleforces for Warhammer 40,000 and Age of Sigmar. I don't remember if last year they came out this early. I mean, it's still kind of early October, but we get to see them, and so I am taking a look at them. There are 7 Warhammer 40,000 Battleforces, which is a lot, starting with the Blissbound Warband. This is one for the Emperor's Children, and it comes with the man himself, Fulgrim, in all his snaky glory. Then it is a squad of Noise Marines, and then 2 squads of Blissblades, of Flawless Blades. Blissblades is the Slaneshi unit from Age of Sigmar. Flawless Blades are the 40k. And Flawless Blades have one of my favorite rules in 40k. They can make a Dark Pact like a regular Chaos Space Marine, but the way that they do it is if they make a Dark Pact, then they auto wound on 3s, which is incredibly good. But if they don't manage to kill an enemy model in that fight phase, then one of the Flawless Blades just drops dead, which is hilarious because usually it won't matter. Like, you'll basically automatically kill a guy in close combat if you're just fighting a squad of troopers or even a squad of Space Marines. But for some of the hard to destroy targets, like an Imperial Knight or some kind of a tank, it might be a situation where you're like, Billy over here is going to be taking one for the team this round because we got to do some damage to this Imperial Knight. Probably won't kill a model, but we can do some serious damage if we're wounding on 3s. I really, really like that unit, and they recently got buffed. They used to have 3 attacks apiece, now they have 4 attacks apiece. So you got 2 squads of those guys, which you could reinforce to a full squad of 6. The thing that's a little lackluster in this box is the Noise Marines. The Noise Marines are one of the coolest things for the Emperor's Children, but they can't be reinforced, and there's a maximum of 3 that can be in your army. So most Emperor's Children players, I was talking to Sean, who's collecting an Emperor's Children army, almost everyone just immediately bought 3 squads of Noise Marines. So the Noise Marines that come in this box is kind of superfluous for a lot of Emperor's Children collectors. If you're starting an Emperor's Children army and you want to start with Fulgrim, I think this is a pretty good box, but if you already have an Emperor's Children army, you probably have as many Flawless and Noise Marines as you need. So I don't know, this box, it's okay. I think it's better for a new player to this army than it is an existing player. Although if you're brand new to Emperor's Children, I don't know if you want to start with the man, the myth, the Fulgrim. I guess you probably do. He's really a cool, exciting Primarch character, but I don't like to bring the giant, really, really expensive models to every single game of 40k. Moving on to the Chthonian Prospect. This is the squat box, and what a squat box it is. There's not that many Leagues of Votann units. They just got a bunch of new stuff, which is pretty cool, but overall, it still kind of just feels like a hodgepodge of things from their army. We got some of the big gun guys, we got some Chthonian Berserkers, we got the new War Buggy, and 2 of the not mortars. I guess it's underground mortars because it shoots the shell into the earth and then it tunnels under the earth to explode in the enemy's line. It seems like a pretty cool box, which comes with a lot of stuff. The Chthonian Berserks are really, really nice. And I do like the Brooknir Thunderkin. They're a really, really cool unit. The Buggy is a really nice include because it's a really nice little transport. And I think it does let you split a squad of regular Hearthguard into 2, which is really nice. Or actually, the Hearthguard are the Terminators. The Hearthkin Pioneers are the cool cloak, like cool jacket guys. What are the normal guys called? Just the squat boys. The regular squad of 10 squat boys, you can split it in half into 2 5-man squads, which is really nice because the cheaper you can get a squad of guys, usually the better. And if you can have some really cheap squads running around, it just helps you win the game by having more options than having 10 bricks running around. And so it's really nice to get those in discount boxes because the transport's not the coolest buy. I don't know if anybody is rocking up to the friendly local game store and then coming back with like a rhino and feeling like they really got something cool. So this box seems interesting. I don't know enough about the Leagues of Votann. I've never even played against them. I've played against almost every single army in Warhammer 40,000, but the only ones I'm missing, I think, are Grey Knights and the Leagues of Votann. And Custodes. I've never played against the Custodes. But speaking of the Custodes, we don't have Custodes, we got the Tyranid in Crusher Stampede, arguably the worst attachment for the Tyranid right now. But this one is big bugs, and I cannot lie. It is, the Tyranid names. It is a Tyrannifex, it is a Neurotyrant, it is the Tentacle Mouth Dude, the Exocrine, Screamer Killer Carnifex, and the Maliceptor. The Maliceptor can be built as the Toxicrene, and the Toxicrene is pretty awesome right now. It's 150 points, and it has two very good rules. One of the rules is, if it's in combat with an enemy unit, on a roll of a 3, that enemy unit is not allowed to fall back, which is kinda huge. You have a 60% chance of not letting your opponent escape, and that can be really, really good, because like if you're in combat with an Imperial Knight or with a really good, like a Leman Russ battle tank, and all of a sudden they can't fall back and get to shoot their blast weapon, like not being allowed to fall back is a really, really powerful unit. And the other rule that the Toxicrene has is it has, at the end of the movement phase, you check for enemy units within 6 inches, and all enemy units have to roll a dice, and on like a 1 through 3, they take a mortal wound. 4 or 5, they take D3 mortal wounds, and on a 6, they take D6 mortal wounds. So this guy can hand out a ton of mortal wounds at the end of the movement phase, which is really, really good. Sean has, for his Thousand Sons, he has the Viewless Vortex Beast, which also has this same rule, and he's done some serious damage to my army just standing nearby, which is really, really annoying. So I really like the Toxicrene. This box is a little bit of a mess of these different monsters. And if you wanted to do big bugs, and I cannot lie, Tyranid army, you probably would want all of these figures. I feel like every Tyranid player already has a Screamer Killer Carnifex and a Neurotyrant. So I don't know how much value those guys are adding to the box. The Tyrannifex is outstanding. It has a 2-up armor save and an unbelievably powerful gun. And the Hyrospex. The Hyrospex is also really good. I think it's 115 points for a toughness 11, like 14 wound, 3-up save monster. The Tyranid Codex is chocked full of actually really, really cheap big monsters. I was putting together a list last night that I might play in Tabletop Simulator just to try it out. But man, like you get 3 Toxicrenes, 3 Tyrannifexes, and 3, like you just take 3 of every big stompy monster. And I feel like it would be hard for a lot of armies to deal with. They're not impossible to kill, but if you bring enough of them and you just want to go right up into the enemy's face, I feel like that is a tough army to deal with. This box is definitely interesting. Got a bunch of big old monsters in it, but I don't know if it passes like the Christmas check, because the thing that I'm looking for in all of these Christmas boxes is, would I be like over the moon if Santa brought me one of these? Would I have, building and painting projects for weeks and weeks and weeks? I want to tear into that box. I want tons and tons of plastic. Like this is technically tons of plastic because they're really big models, but it's 5 dudes. I guess technically 7 dudes because of the 2 little brain tokens that comes with the Neurotyrant, but I don't know, this box is okay. I would give it a B. I'm not grading these, but this one gets a B. Moving on to the Tau with the Farsight Cadra. This box looks really, really good. Farsight colors, the red with a little bit of white and a little bit of black with the giant mechs looks so good. We got the Riptide, we got the Broadside Battle Suit, we got the Crisis Team, we got the man himself, Commander Farsight. This box, it's really, really cool. I like all of these units. The Riptide is awesome. The Broadside is really, really good and can be taken in squads of 3. I currently own 1. but I might bump that up to 2. I play Kroot, but I have Kroot backed up with a little bit of Tau shooting in it so that I can actually deal with some anti-tank. This box is really, really cool. The battle suits are really good. Currently, there's 3 different flavors. There's the Sun Fury, the Star Shatter, and the Shooty Flamethrower. I think those are the official Games Workshop names. And they're all pretty good. The Sun Fury is the double Melta, which is an incredibly powerful suit. And you can attach that to a Cold Star commander who can, I believe, take 4 Meltas by himself. So you can have a ton of Melta guns in the squad, which is really cool. The Tau battle suits are really cool. This is very reminiscent of the Christmas Battle box from last year, but it does look really, really cool. And all of the little drones just hanging out. Now in 10th edition, the drones aren't a physical miniature, but really more of a token. And so what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to pin the drones to like just barely be touching the suits so that they look like they're floating. It'll make the models a little bit bigger, but I think that's fine. I would rather move the model around than move the model and then scoot the little tokens all over the place. But man, the Tau look so cool, and they look really, really good in red. I definitely like the look of this box, even though it's not many more models than the Crusher Stampede. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you don't count any of the drones, which I don't. So it comes with 1 more miniature than the Tyranid get. But speaking of coming with the miniatures, the Iron Halo Strike Force for, not the Ultramarines, for the Space Marines. This is a generic box, but we got a Redemptor Dread, we got a Brutalis Dread, we got a 5-man squad of Hell Blasters, and then we got a 5-man squad of Stern Guard Veteran, Heroes of the Chapter, and a commander? The Captain. Yeah. And the Captain is the one that comes in the Heroes of the Chapter. This box, I think this box is pretty good. Honestly, getting 5 instead of 10 Hellblasters is fine. Usually, I feel like you don't take a big brick of 10 because it's a little bit overkill for most of the targets that they're gonna be going up against. And so getting 5 is fine. Getting the 2 Dreadnoughts is really good. The Ballistus is still, even though it's been nerfed and changed a little bit, it's still a very, very good unit. And the Redemptor is awesome. It is a big, tanky vehicle. And it's even tankier because its ability is it subtracts 1 from all of the oncoming damage, which really can start to add up. Like if I'm going against Sean's Imperial Guard with a lot of flat damage 3 across his army, like 2 shots go through, instead of doing 6 damage, it does 4 damage because it subtracts 1 from each individual dice. So the Redemptor is a really, really good, really tanky thing. Pretty good at shooting, pretty good at punching, pretty good at stomping. I really, really like it. And the Stern Guard and the Heroes, they're okay units. What they look like to me though is just fancy Space Marine bodies that I can do whatever I want with. And so I might turn these guys, if it was to get this box, I would be very tempted to just turn these guys into whatever I want. Maybe some Sword Brethren for the Black Templars, maybe use the little tabard torsos to build out some of the captains and commanders that go throughout my different squads of Space Marines. Heroes of the Chapter is an interesting unit. It's decently fighty and a little bit shooty, but usually if you attach them to a captain, it makes for a very, very expensive squad that's not quite amazing. Usually in the Space Marines, if you have a really, really cool, awesome character that does a lot of damage, you attach him to like a squad of Assault Marines because it's the cheapest Space Marines you're allowed to take. And so basically they're just extra wounds for your super cool commander. The Heroes of the Chapter, Honor of the Chapter, they're fine. They're very, very cool Space Marine sculpts, and the Heavy Bolter is kind of neat. And I think it's a master-crafted Heavy Bolter, which makes it extra cool. But speaking of extra cool, we got the Hellforged Warband. This is the Chaos Space Marine box, and this comes with the Venom Crawler, which is an awesome little Sentinel-ish unit that has some cool guns. And it has a really bizarre rule where every time it murders an enemy unit in close combat, it gets +1 attack for the rest of the game. And I think you can get a maximum of 3 extra attacks off of this rule. Probably not gonna come up very often. It's not amazing in close combat, really not good enough to be killing enemy units, but it's a really interesting rule that it has. Then you get some Obliterators, you get Disco Lord himself, the Lord Discordant on Dragon Thing. Then you get a squad of Havocs, and you can never have too many Havocs. Even if you're a Chaos Space Marine player who already has a bunch of Havocs, do you have as many las cannons as you wish you had? The answer is no, and so it's always great to get more Havocs. And then a squad of Legionaries. Even if you already have as many Legionaries as you want, then you could put these guys together as Chosen, and that would be just a really good way to get a little extra something out of this box. And then a cheap and cheerful Rhino. I do like the inclusion of a Rhino in this box, because again, Rhino's not the most exciting purchase, but just getting them at a discount wrapped up together with a whole bunch of other really cool stuff. I think that this is an excellent box. The Lord Discordant has recently gotten quite a bit better, so he's actually worth taking in the game. Obliterators, Venom Crawler, Havocs are all excellent, excellent units. I really like this Christmas box. This would make an excellent like starter army for Warhammer 40,000. No notes, like nothing that you desperately need to have immediately before you play the game. I think this would be a really, really good, fun army to play with. Then after Chaos Space Marines, we got the Krieg Siege Platoon. I thought Sean was gonna be all over this box, but unfortunately, he bought 2 of the Krieg boxes when they first launched. And so he has enough of the weapon teams. But 20 more Kriegers, you get a 5-man squad of the Krieg. You get the 5-man squad of the Krieg Commandos or the Krieg Engineers. And then you get the Krieg Command Squad. So this is all Krieg all the time. Don't even worry about it. So much Krieg going on here. This is a really, really cool Christmas box. You get the boys. You get a lot of stuff. This, I would feel really, really happy if Santa brought me this. It is really cool. The 2 giant guns are awesome. I think there's 4 different weapon options for the siege cannons. And one of them is like a really interesting indirect fire grenade launcher, which it's anti-infantry, and arguably you don't need more anti-infantry in an Imperial Guard army because your regular boys and stuff can handle anti-infantry okay. And so you need your tanks to be cracking the tough stuff, but I don't know, the indirect grenade launcher is pretty cool. I think this Krieg box is fantastic if you don't already collect Imperial Guard, because this is gonna get you going on all of your infantry, one of your elite choices in the Engineers, your 2 guns to stick in the backfield and never move all game, which is classic Imperial Guard strategy, and then you got your command squad. Ooh, and I wonder if the command squad can attach to the 20-man Krieg brick. If it can, that would be very, very interesting. I know the Cadians can do that, and there is a strategy of attaching Cadian command squad to a regular brick of Cadians, and then if you count up all of the plasma pistols and plasma guns, it actually makes for like a weird discount Hellblaster squad from the Space Marines. It's kind of weird, but if you stack all of your things on this one squad, you can make a little squad of regular dudes really pop off. It's kind of funky. But speaking of kind of funky, that was all 7 Christmas boxes. And honestly, they're okay. The ones that really stick out to me is the Chaos Space Marine Hellforged Warband. This one seems really cool. I like the Obliterators, I like the Venom Crawler, I like the Disco Lord, I like the Rhino. Like this box might be what I would accidentally buy to start playing a Chaos Space Marine army, where some of the other boxes like Crusher Stampede, I feel like you almost need to know going in, like, I want to play big bugs. It's getting me started on my squads of big bugs, but I'm only having 1 of each. I'm eventually going to have to get some more of those boxes before the army really starts to gel and to work. A little bit the same with the Tau. I feel like these units, like Riptide is fine all by itself, Broadside is kind of fine all by itself. And then the Crisis Suits can attach to Commander Farsight. So yeah, actually that does work out, where everything in the box is working together and synergizing fairly well in the game. And then the Bliss Bound Warband for the Emperor's Children. It is a little bit sad to see those Noise Marines, because everyone bought 3 boxes of Noise Marines. So very few Emperor's Children collectors are looking to get their hands on more Noise Marines. Maybe Sean should buy this box and then sell me the Noise Marines for a deep discount, because they're really, really cool. And they can be allied into a generic squad, a generic Chaos Space Marine army. Not that I have a generic Chaos Space Marine army, but maybe I would like to have one day. But overall, yeah, the Chaos one is the one that got me the most excited. The Space Marine one is excellent. All of these models would serve you well in games of Warhammer 40,000, especially the 2 Dreadnoughts and the Ballistus especially. The Ballistus is just an excellent weapons platform that is pretty cheap. It's one of the cheapest nice guns that the Space Marines are allowed to take. But let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of these army boxes? Which one is your favorite? Which ones have got you thinking? We don't know too much about the prices yet. I think last year they sold for $240 a box. And if these ones are $240 a box, that will be around $100 in savings. The only one I double checked was the Blissbound Warband. You would be saving about $100. Overall, I don't know if any of these 40K ones are really lighting a fire under me to make sure that I am gonna be around whenever the pre-order inevitably drops, and you gotta be quick to get your hands on one of these boxes. But you know what else you have to be quick about? I guess you don't, but it's EonsOfBattle.com. EonsOfBattle.com is a place to find all sorts of hobby goodies like wet pallets, water slide decals, basing toppers, and bits. And we got some new hobby goodies in there. We got my favorite cork that I like to use on all of my basing, and we got my favorite Rosemary & Co. brushes. All hail the Synthetic Series 313 size 3. I love that brush. And EonsOfBattle.com is the best way to support us doing what we do with a membership. Each month, members get a credit that they can use on our new monthly trade packs or any previous pack we have ever made. Come celebrate Orktober with us and head on down to the Orc Rodeo. A whimsical assortment of high-octane hijinks, this set includes a series of walls and barricades that not only create a coliseum of chaos, but also fits in with our previous Orky wall terrains. Then there's the Goblin Game Carts, a series of mobile orc entertainments pulled along by an orcified food truck, literally dripping with some good orc grub. Rounding out this set are the 3 amigos, some brave goblins riding their violently bucking steeds. All this terrain was designed by us and is available at EonsOfBattle.com. The 40K Christmas boxes are fine overall, but the Age of Sigmar boxes are kind of the ones that have got me a little bit tempted. These boxes feel a little bit more exciting and a little bit more Merry Christmas to me. The Scry Warp Swarm for the Skaven. This box is good. This box looks really good. And it could just be that I don't know that much about Age of Sigmar. And so when I see these units, I'm just seeing how cool the models are, because I don't really know in-game if they're good or not. But this box seems amazing. Number one, it's got the Globadiers, which is one of my favorite 40K kits. I love the little Globadiers. They're so weird and funky. The Ratlin Warp Blasta, the Jezzails, the heavy weapon teams, and then 20 of the new Storm Vermin. I have the Vermintide Skaven, and so I have a bunch of regular clan rats, but these aren't clan rats. These are these slightly better clan rats. And getting a full complement of 20 of those suckers feels really, really nice. And then I know this commander is the commander that you need to be able to bring the Globadiers, because I've done a little bit of army building and list building in my head, and I know that I need this particular model if I want to take the Globadiers in Age of Sigmar. This box comes with so many miniatures, so many cool and interesting miniatures. It seems like a really good get. And speaking of good gets, Sean was very excited about this next one, Lances of the Crimson Keep. This is for the Soulblight Blops, the Soulblight Gravelords. This is 2 squads of Blood Knights that can be reinforced into one big 10-man brick. Then you got the Fell Bats and possibly the biggest glow up in all of Warhammer 40,000, the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. Back in the day, the old model was so cool, but it kind of just aged out of existence. And if you like Google it right now, it does not look like this new model. This new model looks incredible. Where the old model kind of looked like a Halloween store skeleton, which is perfect for Halloween, but because it's Halloween right now, even though I'm wearing a Christmas hat. But this new model is so incredibly good. This is a very, very interesting looking box. Those Blood Knights are monstrous in game. I've played against them a ton in Age of Sigmar Spearhead. Whew, those guys are hard to kill. But speaking of hard to kill, the Dank Hold Rampage This is the Gloomspite Gitz box, and it is oops all ogres. So many ogres. Number one, you get the Ogre King. Then you get the Ogre General King guy. And then you get a whole bunch of ogres. This box comes with so much plastic, so many big guys. Trug the Troggoth King, the Dankhold Sloggoth. You get the weird little swampy dudes. Like this is a really big box of really big dudes. I feel like the 40K version of this, the Crusher Stampede, came with five. It came with 5 kind of big models. This comes with more bigger even models. This box is really, really cool. And rounding out the collection, because there's only 4 for Age of Sigmar, we got the Outcast Spite Grove, the Sylvaneth box. I bought the Sylvaneth box 2 years ago, and that got me started on my Sylvaneth journey. And this is actually the one that I should have gotten because I really like Yandrosta and the Spite Revenants. I really like that aspect of Age of Sigmar. The story of Ilariel, who is the queen of like nature, or the god of nature. And at one point in time, she wiped the memories of all of her subjects, the trees and the spirits. And then when they awoke again, there were now these things called Spite Revenants, which are like souls trapped inside of trees. And nobody knows where they came from or what Ilariel did to engineer them. But they're here now, and they're very, very freaky. And the most important character is Drycha Hamadreth, who is a really, really cool miniature. I kind of already have all of these units and a bunch of them, so I don't need to get this box. I already have Drycha, but man, that Skaven box is really, really tempting me because I have both Skaven spearheads and then I have a little bit of extra Skaven from the Skaven Tide box. And so I feel like this box would slot in really nicely, get me a whole bunch of Skaven units that I don't already have, the Globadiers. This box has got me really, really tempted. It's a lot of plastic, but Skaven paint up pretty quick. They paint up pretty easy, so I don't know, maybe I'll keep my eyes open on the Skaven box. All in all, an exciting amount of boxes, a good amount of Warhammer 40,000. It'll be interesting to see what these boxes come in at price-wise. 240 would be goodish, kind of fine. That's a lot of money, but you do get a lot of stuff. None of the 40K ones are really lighting a fire under me, but some of the Age of Sigmar ones are pretty cool. So I don't know. I think Christmas will be very Warhammer-y, very festive, but I don't know. I should be in the mood for some Halloween. All in all, a bunch of really cool boxes. The only one that's really got my eye is the Skaven one, but it's been a while since I've gotten a Christmas Battleforce box. I think the last one that I got was the Sylvaneth. Is that true? I think so. I don't think I've gotten another Christmas Battleforce in a hot minute, but that's okay because the only one I'd be really interested in is the Chaos Space Marine one, and I should not be collecting another Chaos Space Marine army before I finish my Chaos Space Marine army, which is Death Guard. I got 1,000 points. I just got to build another 1,000 points. It'll be easy because it's all Terminators. And maybe then I'll start to think about letting myself collect some more Chaos Space Marines. Thanks for watching.